the Hurricane Julaton.
Using that reach of the kicks. Because, you know, this is not where you want. Oh, look inside, look at the body in the head. This is exactly where Julaton wants to be.
Tremendously quick hands, the right hand there working body and head, and Osman taking a deal of punishment early on. What can she do to contain that? Pressing her opponent up against the cage is something she's done before. We've seen her do that very well, and that could be the major tactic.
Well, I think it's a smart tactic. You know, she wants to negate the reach and the striking ability that Julaton's going to have. Obviously, that boxing pedigree is going to come into play. As we saw there, Anna just goes into rapid fire mode as soon as she's inside and feels that distance. So, Osman is, you know, wanting to take away that leverage by clinching and utilizing the cage and really making her forced to work the grapple game. And try some takedown defense here. Nice takedown.
Beautifully done. She's got tremendous conditioning, and Osman as well. The longer this fight goes on, the stronger she may well get. 3 5-minute rounds. Early points for Osman in the book with that takedown. But that was good work with the right hand earlier on from Julaton.
Nice short elbows from Osman from the top.
You and I had a first impression that Osman had beaten Sherilyn Lim when we watched that fight in Singapore. But there's a lot of question marks about how busy Anne was when she was in control on the mat. And that could be what eventually lost it for her on the judges' scorecards. How busy will she be here?
Well, she's doing a good job of staying busy from the top, but you have to work to improve your position. So doing damage, again, the way we score fights in 1FC, damage inflicted, near knockout, near submission, the most important factor. So there is some points to be said for the takedown and for the aggression stats. But this is really a position where when someone comes into mixed martial arts with a boxing background, they don't spend a lot of time on their back. You know, people like to spend time where they're comfortable. So you've spent 15, 20 years boxing, and then you've become an expert at striking. To really go back to the drawing board and start learning this whole new thing all over again, it takes a very humbling approach. And Olivia Yukos going to stand him up, and actually gave him a warning, it looked like.
Yeah, he may well do. And Osman coming up in weight for this one. She's giving away 5 centimeters, as we showed you earlier on in the tail of the tape. Really tremendously well conditioned, this woman. Trains with the Borneo Tribal Squad under AJ Pyro, Lias Mansour, and he really works.
You see, he's working the pass guard. Does a good job of containing Osman by Julaton. Yeah, Osman really wants to try to free that left leg and get into a little more of an advantageous position, because at this rate, Julaton just stays on her back. This is not a good spot for her. She has no leverage to throw any strikes. She can't mount any offense from her back. She's really just kind of weathering a storm.
The crowd here at the Dubai World Trade Center getting behind Julaton, trying to encourage her. At the moment, she's getting the rough end of it all. Throwing punches though from the bottom. Half a dozen or more punches connecting with the left side of Anne Osman's face.
Yeah, those short punches too, they don't look like they do a lot of damage, but it disrupts your breathing pattern and it opens up space. You get to see kind of how, when you use a jab in boxing, how your opponent's going to react. Those short punches will help you see what your opponent's thinking.
We talk about short punches. Of course, Osman has the advantage of leverage from on top there. She can throw those punches from a higher altitude, as it were. Potentially, they can do more damage, and she's thrown quite a lot of those.
Looks like she's moved into mount now. This is a very bad spot for Julaton.
The forearms will come down as well as the fist, Jason. Let's see what she can do now.
Anna has to be very careful to not extend those arms. It's a very common thing when people aren't used to being on their back, because they start pushing off and they want to extend, but that's giving you the arm.
And this could be it. Now let's see.
Looks like it's in deep. That looks like it could be deep. I just don't know if you can get her hips flat enough.
Watch for Julaton to tap. It's that left arm that's under severe pressure.
And wow, is Julaton a warrior?
Oh, she's done so well.
That's pretty deep. This could be it.
Using her feet to try and distract Anne Osman.
I don't know how she's surviving this armbar attempt.
She did tremendously well to see out.
Yeah, the one thing she has to watch. Oh, she slipped there.
And Anne's got her back. What can she do with it?
Almost had her back there. It looked like she slipped, but going back to that point you made, that Anna has to use that boxing skill, but she has to also not overcommit to the boxing because that gives Ann Osman a chance to clinch and to rush in. She has to really circle outside and pick her shots. And this very well could look a lot like round one here as Ann Osman just worked in the cross side. And, you know, she wasn't able to get the finish with that armbar, but we did see Ann Osman move into mount and start to work to finish. And Ann Julaton really needs to get her arms back and protect and stop extending her arms so much. You see, Ann Osman may start to work on a far side Kimura on that left arm of Anna Julaton. Or she may just be content to sit here and grind on her.
She's been very happy just to throw elbows, forearms, and punches down in the past.
Oh, there's that knee. See, right over into mount. It's a great job. This is a very bad spot. Now, we saw last round, we had a minute left. And Ann Osman was able to sink in an armbar just like this again. See, when Anna Julaton is extending that arm and giving it to Ann Osman, she's just going to take it.
Well, Ann Osman's mouthpiece or gum shield fell out there. She grabbed it, tried to put it in. Julaton wasn't going to rest up. She was going to pound that mouth as much as she could while Ann tried to fix it back into a mouth. No quarter given, nor asked for.
Well, Ann's doing the right thing by keeping her hips bumping up. That prevents Ann Osman from really getting a solid base, because every time she sits up to punch, if Anna Julaton bumps her hips, that stops Ann Osman from really getting a lot of leverage. Just like that, forces her to base. But the problem is that Anna Julaton really needs to free her arms and start pushing on the knees. Right now, Ann Osman's riding so high up that there's not a whole lot Anna Julaton can do from here. She needs to get her elbows into the side, and this is Ann's looking for the armbar attempt.
All right, second one of these. Let's see how far this one goes. Again, Julaton uses the heel to try and distract Osman. And to pretty good effect there. It is distracting.
Oh, that's a deep armbar. Oh, I don't know how she's got the pinky down and the thumb up the way you want it. Now she's hooking the leg, too, to prevent the scramble.
That is deep, Jason. How is she resisting that?
You know, it just looks like Ann Osman's not popping her hips. Ann Osman needs to really lift her hips up. It looks like she was stretching the arm more than watching the hips.
Lift those hips up, yeah. She's done well to get out of that, but she's still in trouble.
Yeah, she looks, Ann Julaton looks like she's in a little bit of pain there, and she's nervous.
She's got it out.
Oh, she's got a triangle attempt now. Can she cinch it up? She needs to bring that left foot underneath her right kneecap. It's not quite tight enough, but this is really going to open up space for Ann Julaton to pass.
Now what can Julaton do? From the higher position, elbows on Ann Osman's forehead.
Ann Julaton looks like she may have found a second win here. Ann Osman, that's so frustrating too. When you look for attempts and arm bars and you feel like you've got something in that deep and you don't have your opponent tap and they're just smiling at you.
And it's so exhausting to hold that position as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
This crowd is so noisy in the Dubai World Trade Center. Really appreciating this first bout of the evening. What a way to start. And they're behind Anna Julaton. It's clear who their favorite is. She's got pedigree, this woman. Very well known in the fishing game.
Well, Anna Julaton has that killer instinct. I mean, she's staying busy and going for the head the whole time.
It's just never say die with the Filipino, is it? She's come out of two lengthy armbar attempts.
She's got to be careful here. Now, she doesn't have a lot of time, but this is a beginning of a triangle choke.
As we get to the end of this second round, are upon us. Left hand from Julaton, and we haven't seen enough of that.
Well, Ann really has to get it done in this round. And work that boxing and really utilize those skills. Oh, nice! Oh, she didn't follow that up, though.
It rocked out again, and Osman's in trouble.
Oh,
this is what we needed to see from the Filipino from the start.
Yeah, rock'em sock'em robot time. That was a couple of great punches. See, this is really where Anna Julaton needs to have that meter register that she had Ann Osman hurt and just kind of let her recover. She had a couple of solid shots that rocked her, in my opinion, and then, in a desperation move, Ann Osman closed the distance, and Anna Julaton was okay with that. There's another takedown attempt. See, I think that Julaton really is missing her opportunity to capitalize on those strikes.
I'm a little surprised because it seems to me that Julaton is the fresher of the two. I had Ann Osman down as superbly conditioned, but she seems a little bit more tired than the Filipino. I may be misinterpreting it, but they were good punches.
Yeah, I definitely think, Anna Julaton has been involved in martial arts and boxing for years, so she's clearly going to be conditioned and know what it takes to have those championship rounds and to go a long, arduous fight. And she clearly looks like she's in good spirits. But my question is, I just don't know if the game plan that was put together was executed the way she wanted.
Yeah, what we saw in the first minute of this round, we really needed to see a lot more from Anna Julaton's perspective.
She's had a lot of success when she was standing with those punches, but then every time she allowed Ann Osman to clinch, this is where we've ended up, where Ann's been on top and been able to work. Now, we do get a chance to see Julaton's guard here, if she's able to work anything, because I do agree with you. It does look like Ann Osman is a little bit tired. So if Anna Julaton's able to throw something up, an armbar or a triangle, she may be able to cinch it in here.
Julaton's head there wedged against the cage post for a while. It wasn't really a comfortable position for her because she was getting battered by the left hand, and the wedge post was holding her head up so that she could take more punishment. She got out of that.
Now, this would be a great spot for Ann Julaton to get up to her feet here, but...
And Osman doesn't want her to do that,
well,
that's for sure.
Smart. She keeps the pressure on her and wants to keep Ann Julaton out of her world. She's done a great job of it.
The hands of Osman certainly a little bit more sluggish, a little bit more fatigued than they were 10 minutes ago. That's understandable.
Ann Julaton's doing a good job, like I said, of keeping it bumping those hips. But the second part of that, you can see Ann Osman almost, she just gave up on that armbar.
She folded, didn't she? Folded over.
Yep, that was
so tenacious. We've seen her come from behind before. Will she do it again now?
Well, this is going to be close. You can see that Ann Osman is just exhausted. She was looking for an armbar there and just kind of decided, I don't want to risk it. Just gave up to guard. I do think Ann has been ahead so far, but Anna really needs to tune it up here. She needs to think about standing up and getting out of guard because ground and pound on Osman isn't really going to be enough to win the fight, in my opinion.
Osman has her eyes closed. I don't know if that's swelling or...
You see Ann Osman's going to work that triangle again right here. And Osman needs to pull the back of the head of Anna Julaton down.
Work to finish.
The triangle's not really in deep. She's got the position she needs, but she needs to pull the back of the head and start cinching that up.
Great work from the knee from Julaton to the hip, the left hip of Ann Osman. Bruising blows, heavy blows. 1 minute left in this enthralling battle in Dubai. ONE FC reign of champions. There's no belt at stake here, but these two really are champions.
That's such an uncomfortable position, too, because when you have your opponent and you're wedged against the cage like that, it takes away all of your hip dexterity. You can't really move or create the angles that you need to finish a move. But that doesn't mean that Anna Julaton is out of danger by any stretch of the imagination.
Final 30 seconds. We're inside that now.
Let's go, action.
Has Ann Osman done enough? I would say yes. I keep saying you can't really score a fight from the commentary booth, but it's my impression that Ann Osman has done enough. Jason, you with me?
I think Ann Osman absolutely has done enough. I think that there's been more submission attempts, more dominant control. Aggression could go either way, but takedowns. You look here, almost another armbar attempt. We're going to find out what the official is.
Let's first of all just show some appreciation for these two and what you can be sure of.
We now move on to the judges' scorecards. Judge number 1 sees it from the blue corner. Judge number 2 calls it from the red corner. And judge number 3 calls it with the winner by split decision from the blue corner, and Osman.
Well, that was a split decision.
I don't know which fight